Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope everyone is doing fabulous. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Gossip Girls broadcast. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Ashley. I am the founder and CEO of Enriched Life by Design. I am also the talk show host of Gossip Girls, a live informative broadcast where I share everything business, entrepreneurship, relationships, family, you name it, I'm going to touch on it. I do tend to dive a little bit more into the business side of things and personal development and that sort of thing. But every once in a while, I go on tangents with whatever I feel like. So could be anything. Anyways, tonight, you guys, I am bringing out one of my nearest and dearest. Her name is Jenna Smith. Absolutely love her. Her and I connected through our affiliate marketing fees. We connected pretty much right away. It was love at first sight. We just discovered a lot about each other that were very similar in many, many ways. And we have a big announcement for you later on tonight. So I hope you stay tuned till the very end because we have something big coming. Anyways, you guys, because this is a free broadcast, all that I ask of you is to please like, comment, and share my broadcast with the world so that we can get our value out to as many wonderful people as we can. Now, without further ado, let's bring out Jenna. Oh, I'm going to change my screen. There we go. That's better. How are you, Jenna?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Well, I'm kind of tired. I just finished my workout. Now I'm like all the wine.
Yeah, see, I have a very different version of tired than you do. I was literally just seconds ago, guys, telling Ashley how I just woke up. Like, if anybody who comes to know me knows that I am, like, sleep is very near and dear to my heart. I love sleep. And I was, when Ashley was asking me to come on to this show, I was, like, the hesitation was there because it's 10 o'clock my time right now. And I'm usually in bed by, like, she wanted me to come on throughout the week. And I'm like, that probably isn't a good option because I'm usually in bed by, like, 9. So even tonight, which is a Saturday, I literally had dinner, fell asleep on the couch for, like, 2 hours and had my husband wake me up in time for this. So I've got my lovely little drink going on, which is it's my stevia drink. I don't drink, so, like, it is what it is. But
it is what it is. All I care about is that you're here. So thank you very much for coming on tonight. I know we had talked and we were like, oh, do you want to go for like a Tuesday or a Thursday? And then I was like, oh, that's like 10 o'clock your time. Like, yeah, probably not a good idea.
Not good for work.
Yeah. Not when you have an entrepreneur mindset and you wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready before work. I totally understand that. So
yeah.
All good. It's all good. Anyways, guys, I want Jenna to tell us a little bit about her background. Give us a little bit of a backstory, how she got to where she is today.
Sure. Okay, so I have a little bit of a lengthy story about myself. So we're going to have to rewind quite a bit. Back to kind of the very beginning. So when I was a kid, I was your typical, like, into everything type of person. I was into every sport. I loved to perform. So I did piano, I sang, I danced, I did, basically anything I could get my hands on. Like, I was kind of that do everything type of person. And when I was 14, it was literally so weird. I was playing in a volleyball tournament that day, and my coach had come up to me towards the end of the day, and she turned to me and she's like, Jenna, are you feeling okay? Like, you look kind of green. And I was like, I feel fine. So, like, I kept playing and everything was all good. And literally that night, it was like instantaneous. Like, I was on the couch with I'm sorry, that's my dog.
That's okay. You'll probably hear my kids at some point. So.
Yeah. I was on the couch. I had the fever, chills. I couldn't, like, I was blacking out. I was immobile. Like, the energy level was, like, just rock bottom. And then within a couple of days, every joint in my body was essentially so swollen, like it was sprained, essentially. So it was so swollen to the point that I was immobile on the couch. So after about 3 months of going into doctor's offices and trying to figure out what was going on, they eventually got the diagnosis of systemic rheumatoid arthritis. So for myself, so basically because it's systemic means that associated with it are all those flu-like symptoms. So like they
Right.
originally thought, like we thought it was the flu at first, then they thought it was mono, and then they thought it was all like the generic things that you could possibly
Yeah.
have. But then they factored in kind of the inflammatory markers that I have, and I am lucky enough to have it in every single joint of my body. So when I was
Oh my
14 years
goodness.
old, it was quite the journey. So when I was 14 years old, they like pumped me through with the medications. Great.
That's like a big hit when you're 14. Like you're already going through
Yeah.
every normal thing at 14. And let's it's like all the things when you're 14. So then slammed.
Well,
because holy man.
Well, that's it. And it's not only like, because associated with the medications as well were all the physical side effects. So like my hair thinned out, like I cut it like super short, like it was an inch all over. My face was rounded, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with prednisone at all, but it's a very horrible drug. It has like the rounding of the face, it has the weight gain, it has all that fun stuff, and you injure very easily when you're on prednisone as well. So when I thought I was feeling better, I attempted to go back into my sports, and long story short, like I got severely injured through that process and just never went back. So the main thing for me was that everything that brought me joy. So all of my hey babe. Want to say hi? And she's like, all good, story of Jenna. So all the things that brought me joy, or so I thought, right? All the things that really made me happy, my sports, my entertaining, like my performing, my piano, like everything that I loved doing that was like my passion, I couldn't do anymore. So that's when I went through that tough period. And as you say, like you have, not only am I going through the 14-year-old typical situation,
all the things,
but there's the physicalities that kind of associated with it. There's the fact that I couldn't do anything anymore. And I obviously went into a very deep depression. And that lasted for a very long time. And looking back on that, I honestly,
I'm sorry.
I know.
Oh my God, Corey, I love you.
We're trying to tame my dog, and you would think for a family who is usually in bed by like 9:30, 10, like this is like a wild house right now. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So going through that scenario, I internalized a lot, and looking back on it now, it's difficult in the sense that I know how many people I hurt during that process, because if anybody else has experienced depression in any way, shape, or form, the only way that I can explain it to make any sense is the fact that you're aware of what's going on around you, but you don't care. You're in your own little bubble. You know that you should feel something about what's going on, but you don't. And and like it's, I remember turning, like my mom and I were in the bathroom one day, and I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and she was standing right there beside me. And I can't imagine this, and you're a mom, so you can probably just feel her pain here. But I turned to her and I said, the worst part is that I know I'm in there, but I don't know how to get back. Yeah. And you just, you go into this vicious cycle, right? So that lasted, honestly, a couple of years. And it was very, very difficult. I'm just so thankful for the support that I had around me, because I can't imagine where I would be at this point had I not had the support. The right support, right? So now on the reverse side of that, it just feeds so many different areas. So because of the fact that I lost all the things that I thought I was, the only things that I thought I was good at, and that made me happy, I focused 100% of my energy into all the things that I could. So my school was literally the only thing I had control over. So I made that an unhealthy obsession as well. So I would study 24/7. My grades were like the most important thing in the world to me. I would make myself full of like anxiety ridden just from everything. So like it was just like this crazy vicious cycle, and like all these little things that branched off as a result of it were just, it was quite the experience. Now, that being said, coming out of that scenario, I actually attended this Ontario Science Center science school for school. I got accepted into that program. So it's one of like 28 people in Southwestern Ontario who get accepted into the program. And
Oh, wow.
it was really kind of cool. That was one of my things where my parents were like, you need to apply and you need to go. Like, even when I had applied and gotten accepted into it, I waited until like the last day to even submit my acceptance.
Right.
I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do this, because it was
Right.
an entire semester away from my family. I've never been away from my family before. Like, it was something that I just wasn't sure I wanted to do. And I went there, and that was honestly, that was my moment. That was the moment where I feel like I had become known as a certain person. So I grew up in London, Ontario, and in London, I felt like I was that academic. I was the person that everybody wanted to beat. I was like I was just that. I had this image of me that everybody had created, which really wasn't entirely who I was. And when I went to the Science Center, first and foremost, the most amazing thing was the fact that you're only there with 28 other students. So they become your family while you're gone, because we're all from everywhere. And they become your family, and they're just so accepting of everybody for who they are. And I got the opportunity to get a glimpse again of who I really am, because I didn't have to worry about this image that was created about me. So when I came back from that, it literally changed my life. Like, I did a 180. I recognized what my priorities are, what was important, because I had lost that throughout my journey, right? So I started, that was kind of the starting point to my recovery, and it made a significant difference in just my perspective on everything and who I am as a person. So
it just gave you a little bit of you back, right? Like, because you felt like you lost so much of that when sports and athletics were taken away from you. You were like, who the fuck am I?
Well, that's it.
Than it is anymore.
You lose yourself. You
had to rediscover who you were. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the other thing too, is that I really had to learn at a young age how to redefine who I am as a person, as well as my illness, because this isn't going away, and I still have it. I've been living with it for 20 years now. Like, it is my reality. It's under control, but there are things that I can do and things that I can't do. But it doesn't mean that I can't do anything, right? And this is where I really had to dig deep and to figure out what I was capable of doing. So I still involved myself in sports. I would volunteer. I would go to the events. I would help coach teams and things like that. But I would stay involved in whatever I could that brought me joy. But I also tapped into things that were a little different, that I would never have touched on, because of the fact that I had this opportunity. So it's almost like it's a love-hate type of scenario. It was a very difficult period for me, but it allowed me to open up my perspective to new things that I never would have discovered had I not gone through this process, and things that I'm very passionate about and things that I love doing. And it was just it. And I also say, I joke about this, but it's genuinely true. It kept me out of trouble, right? Like, I didn't get involved in any of the stuff that was going around at school at that point and whatever. So
totally opposite from me.
Yeah. Right? So I don't know. I probably feel like I would have been that type of person that was testing things out and doing things or whatever, but I didn't do that. And by the time I reached a certain point, I had no desire to even try anymore, right? So I genuinely feel like it kept me out of trouble. But yeah, so I came out of that. Everything was under control, and still is under control. I have to really focus on my mindset and keeping myself grounded, because the biggest stressors for what I have are stress. Primarily emotional stress. It's usually the worst one for me. And that's why when I graduated with an undergrad in health science and a master's in human kinetics. So I went through my schooling, and I went into a job that was kind of related, but not really related to what I studied. And it was a highly stressful job. So it was commission-based, sales-based, that kind of stuff. And stupid. It was I should have known the warning signs at this point, but then it was 7 years in. I was going through a lot with the stress of the role, and I started seeing these little symptoms popping up. And then you're so involved in this in your day-to-day life. Like it was a very demanding job. So like 14-hour days, constantly wondering about where the next sale's going to come from,
Yes.
managing the team, making sure, because if you don't hit your budget, you don't get the income that you need to
Right.
survive. Like it's just very stressful. And then I got a team that was very difficult, which tacked on the emotional stress. And
Right.
little by little, things started popping up. I wasn't paying attention. The medication was slowly increasing, but then I didn't pay attention to why. And
Right.
all of a sudden, one day, I found myself back to square one. So I had the exact same type of response I did when I was initially diagnosed. And I had been living with it for 17 years at that point, and there was no issue, right? Like everything was very stable, very calm. But because I had put myself in that scenario, it crept back up, and it was bad. It was really bad. It took me about 3 years to fully recover from that flare up again. And
Wow.
that was
3 years?
3 years. Yeah, because first of all, you
Wow.
jack up the medication again. So it takes you X
Right.
amount of time to come down from that, because you need to
Right.
get your body de-stressed back to like a healthy condition, and then you have to start weaning off the medication. But this medication is so potent that you have to only come down like 1 milligram every 2 weeks, kind of thing,
Right.
right? So it's a
Right.
very process, and then it's a matter of changing the lifestyle, changing the food habits, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. So it's a very, very long process, and it took relatively 3 years. And that's when I went through another one of my journeys of, okay, well, what the heck do I do now? Because I was in this other role literally since I was in it in my master's. So it's really the only kind of career type thing that I had. And I knew that I couldn't go back because I wasn't going to put myself in that position again. But I didn't know what I was going to do. So I struggled. Anybody going through the flipping online job interview and job application world knows that it is the most frustrating
Frustrating.
process,
Yeah.
because you can hardly get in front of somebody half the time. And long story short, I was kind of too qualified for things that I was probably deserving of, and I was overqualified for the entry level job. So I was caught in the middle where nobody would even interview me. So I'm sitting here with a master's degree, and I couldn't even get an interview for something.
A master's degree that you can't even flip and use.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where, like, I'm so glad we're in what we're in now.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning so many skill sets that are pertinent to our futures. And like the world is totally changing and our educational systems are failing us. And I'm going to totally nerd out on us for a second, but I've been on like a Harry Potter marathon. So
You didn't hear that, but Corey just heard you, and he was like, "Yes." I love it.
I was watching it, and it's funny, like now that I've been working so much with mindset and certain things, I start to notice, especially in movies, where I'm like, oh my God, this movie has so much more meaning than people actually understand. Like Jeff Hughes, one of our mentors, talks about the Matrix all the time and how the Matrix is actually like our universe and agents are our subconscious and blah, 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 right? So I'm watching Harry Potter today, and or was it yesterday? Can't remember, whatever. But I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, so many points where I'm like, it's even in our movies. Like people need to be paying attention. Like our world is constantly changing and the online space is changing and our educational system is failing our kids. It's failing. It failed us because none of us are really doing what we went to school for, unless you went for an
specific. Yeah, something specific.
Yeah, like I went in for dental assisting specifically. It was a year of school and boom, I was hired straight out of school, right? And anybody else who gets a trade is pretty much hired straight out of school. But you go in, there's so many people that are spending, you know, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 or more for 4 years of school or 6 years of school to get a master's in something. They get out of school and can't even fucking use it.
Yeah. Now, I will say one thing. I do agree. It's not. The conversation even came up with one of the profs in one of our classes one time. She's like, the brutal reality statistically is that the majority of students who graduate with postgraduate education are going back to like waitressing or whatever it is that they can trying to get another job, right?
Yeah.
Now, with that said, the skill set that I learned. So this is a little bit of a difference. Yes, I'm not working in this specifically what I had studied for, but a lot of the skill set that I gained during my education are things that are very applicable to what I'm doing today. So
Yes.
the time management, the organization, like
Yes.
all these things that were pertinent to being successful in school are transferring over into what I'm doing now. So,
Right.
So,
which is funny because then for us going into what we're doing, we've also learned a whole bunch of skill sets that we've now transferred into something else, right? So it's really amazing when you do look at the positive side of things and go, okay, well, I did learn all of these skills.
Yeah.
How can I use those skills to benefit me in my future in a different way?
Exactly.
Right? Rather than doing like what everyone else is doing. And I think that's something that's really awesome with what we do as well, is that they always teach us, you know, here's your box. You should be way out here somewhere. Right? You shouldn't be in the box. Like smash that box to shit because.
Well, and that's the other problem I think with education is that it puts you in a box. It really does.
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you for reminding me. Harry Potter. So, okay. I think it's the fifth video. Yeah, Order of the Phoenix, where there's that stupid lady from I
got nothing.
She's can't remember. But she's in the pink and she's like the crazy cat lady. Remember her?
Sorry, Mike. I don't know where he is. He's not listening right now.
He's from the Ministry of Magic. That's the word I was looking for. And she like takes over Hogwarts and like she goes in and she starts talking about how like after all, school is only for examinations and learning theory and la 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 la. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. That's exactly what some of our school systems are doing to our kids. They're not letting them explore. They're not letting them take those skills and apply them.
No.
Pen and paper.
Well, that's it. And from somebody who comes from an entire family of like teachers, it's been something in the forefront that's an issue forever. Like people don't learn all the same. Some people have different learning. Some people have different ways of applying their intelligence. I use my nephews as an example. The older one is highly verbally intelligent, like very, very smart, wise beyond his years. Whereas the younger one, albeit a pain in the ass right now, but incredibly intelligent, because what he does is he takes everything apart and wants to build it back together. So he has a totally different type of intelligence.
So he's like the engineer of the family.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He's like the engineer. The other one's very like, you can tell he'll be like an academic. He's verbally very intelligent.
Theoretical.
Where the other one, people, you know, his dad worried about him because he wasn't talking at the same rate, whatever. But I'm like, no, watch him. Just watch him. He's incredibly
He's learning differently.
Yeah, and he's incredibly smart. So, I mean, the moral of my story is that I ended up in a job after I was kind of interviewing for whatever I could. Because at this point, I knew I needed a full-time job. My husband was going back to school and we needed something. So I finally got an interview with a place that kind of ticked off all the boxes. So like consistent hours, no, like didn't have to bring anything home at the end of the night. Like it was just do work and then come home. It was like had full benefits, decent pay, like that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
so instead you're going, okay, so this is the logical choice. It has everything I need to survive, because you're in survival mode now, right? Yeah. You're not in finding something you absolutely love, something that fuels your fire, something that's passionate. Just, I need to put food on the table.
Yeah. And quite honestly, like I go in there, and because I had been on medical leave and like searching for a job for a year and a half, like I was genuinely excited. And to this day, I'm very grateful for the job that I have, because we wouldn't have had the income that we did during that time, right?
No, for sure.
Within like, oh my God, like 3 months, I was like, I'm so bored. Like I'm so bored. I'm so unfulfilled. I'm not challenged. And then I started seeing these patterns in my company, whereas with people when they were interviewing for jobs to advance, like I already kind of undercut myself for what I felt like I was worth as far as my education and everything. Even the doctor that I worked with, the first day he met me, he's like, so I see you have a master's degree. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, why are you here?
I don't know if you looked around lately, but
good question, buddy. Good question. I love him. He's like one of my favorites now. But yeah, there was nothing stimulating. And then in order to advance, you needed to literally be in this role for like 5 to 10 years before they even kind of considered you for an advancement, right? So I'm like, this is not my jam, right? Because I'm constantly that person that's striving for the next step, that wants to be able to see the next challenge and the next
girl, I totally hear you. Right? Oh my gosh, totally.
And everything was outside of my control. I had no control over everything. I didn't agree with the ways that certain things were run, and it just started becoming really difficult for me. And that was when, like, it was almost when I hit rock bottom. Because I felt very trapped. I felt like I couldn't go anywhere because we needed the income, but then I hated what I did, and so on and so forth. That this online world was presented to me. And that's honestly, that has been the most life-changing, transformative thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So from not only the skill set and the business in and of itself, but the transformation on a personal level. And it's taught me how to keep my illness at bay. It's taught me things that I am passionate about. Like this business, this online world for me is what lights my fire. Like this is what gets me so excited to be able to leverage the internet to view my future, like to think about where I'll be in 10 years from now.
I know, right?
Gets me so excited. Like I know.
And I think that's truly something that a lot of people who dive into the online space don't think about. They just think about the now. They're like, well, I'm not making 10K in 3 months.
No.
Then I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't see the big picture. And that I love about how we connected in our community and what we strive for is that we don't look at the now.
No.
We look at like 10 years down the road and where we're going to be then. And like all the possibilities that can happen from now till then. It just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Like, like by the time I'm 40, fuck knows. Like I have so much going on for us right now, and we're building so many things, and we're making so many connections, like connections with not small people, you guys. Like we are making connections with people that spend billions of dollars on Facebook.
Yeah.
With a B.
Yeah. You know, the amount of money that doesn't even seem real. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like we are surrounding ourselves with people who are millionaires, multimillionaires, people who are spending billions of dollars on advertising and slaying it in their industry. Like they say, you know, to be the best, you have to learn from the best. Well, guess what? Me and Jenna, that's what we're doing. We are absolutely learning from the best and the brightest in the industry. And I couldn't be more thankful when our mentors come out 3 times a week to teach us everything they've learned over the last 10, 15 years. You're like so grateful that we have what we do. And people just don't understand it. Like you try to explain it to your family sometimes and they're like, huh?
I didn't tell my family at all to begin with, right?
What do you sell? How do you make money?
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, you don't get it.
That's my family. My mom's a little bit more invested in kind of knowing the details or whatever, so I can kind of expand a little bit more with her. My dad's very businessy. He helped to do the marketing and advertising for a multinational company, right? So he's very like business oriented, and it's always about the questions. He's never like opposed to it. Like, and this is what's great. Like I have a very supportive system around me, between my husband, who's incredibly supportive, but I can work with my parents to kind of start getting them to see the potential. But like, for me, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like, I know for myself that 10 years from now, we're going to be set. Like, I know that I will not be working full time. I will not be like dependent on somebody else. I know that this business is going to be in such a good position within 10 years that I will be living by the poolside with my palm trees and the sunshine and whatever.
Let's just keep in mind, 10 years from now is a good solid 20 years before most people retire.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? That's 20 fucking years. You get to live the life of your dreams and do whatever the fuck you want. And this is why I tell people so many times, if it took you 3 to 5 years to hit the level of success that you thought was, exactly where you wanted to be, where you look at your past, you look at your future and you go, fuck yes, I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. If it took 3 to 5 years to have that feeling, to have that like that feeling, how is that not worth it?
Yeah. And like the biggest thing for me, and it's the same thing now, what really hit home to me was when I sat there one day and I went, I cannot live like this for 35 more years.
Right? Oh,
35 more. I could not do it. And like I'm very creative by nature, very innovative, very like I need to be stimulated and challenged as a human being, and I don't feel fulfilled. I need to have a sense of purpose. If I don't have a sense of purpose and I'm just going in and doing like monkey work, which is like I could essentially, there's someone who came up to me one day at my desk and they're like, you look like you're sleeping. Like I was sitting there doing my job, but they're like, you look like you're sleeping. I'm like, I am. Like my job is I can do it in my sleep now, right? So there's nothing challenging about it for me. Whereas as soon as I dove into this, the most incredible thing, first and foremost, the community and the access to the knowledge that we have is unreal. Like these people, you already touched on it, but they went through losing like nearly hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Some of them had
the process.
Yeah. Some of them went through bankruptcy and they came right back. They've gone through MLMs. They've gone through, this, that, and the other thing. And then here they are, this amazing community came together and they're killing it.
Yep.
And we get to learn from them and their mistakes. And it's so beautiful because it's just a community of sharing. Everybody shares their experiences. And if there's one thing that I've learned in being in this community, it is based on experience. You have to experience something to truly understand it. You can write something out all fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
That's just words on paper, unless you actually feel it. Yep. You have to feel it. And the way you're going to feel it is to get off your ass and fucking experience it.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. And we will be the first people to tell you that it's not easy, guys. Like, it's not easy. And there are days that you just want to like
throw in the towel and be like, oh my God.
Punch your computer. Yeah.
I'm going to lose the 15 to 20 grand I just invested. Oh, well. And you're like, oh,
there are days.
That's old self.
Yeah, there are days where it's like you just need to stop and then pick up the next day. But everybody's capable. I think that's that's the difference that needs to be made, like just confirmed here, is the fact that, of course, you're an entrepreneur. There are going to be difficult days, 100%. But
absolutely.
But the capability is there. The support is there. The support system, and we kind of touched on this from the beginning. Like Ashley was saying at the very beginning, we just connected, and I think it's such an incredible thing that we have at our disposal, that we are leveraging the internet to connect with people that we never would have known before. Like I connect more with Ashley than anybody that I've ever met. I don't have girlfriends. They tend to annoy me. I don't really have people that I can get along, like girls that I can kind of connect with on that level and then last like this. But but I found Ashley, and it's like, and I wouldn't have had that connection or that friendship had I not been part of this. Like the online world is something that everybody needs to leverage, not only for a business perspective, but clearly for a personal perspective as well.
Totally.
Right? Like, it's absolutely incredible. So
yeah, the friendships that I've made I've been with this, it'll be a year in May that I've been with this community. And the friendships that I've made in the last year are friendships that will last literally a lifetime. I talk to my friends online and make more of an effort to see them than I do with anyone I ever grew up with my entire life.
Yep.
These people are the people that I know I have like that solid connection with. They are my people. They're my tribe. Like, this is where I belong. And I never want to lose that. It's just this beautiful thing. And I'm so lucky that, like, unfortunately, you're all the way in Ontario. So I know. But I'm so fortunate that most of the people on our team are literally like an hour and a half away from me.
Yeah.
Like I can drive to see them whenever, which is just amazing.
Breaking my heart.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head, though. It's a sense of belonging. And I think that's something that doesn't happen very frequently in any kind of community. There's always the the judgments, or there's always the
Pressure.
competition, or there's the,
Pressure.
you
Pressure.
know, but whereas here, like, you can be quite literally who you are, no judgment. Actually, people will yell at you if you're deviating away from who you are. Ashley
Yeah.
can attest to that. I get it a lot. I get it a lot. So, and it's good. They keep you grounded. They keep you true to who you are, which is important because they respect you for who you are as a person. And I think that's something that's so rare and so beautiful that doesn't come across every day. And it's
No.
just something so incredibly different that I've ever experienced before. So the
And
community,
we're more receptive, I find.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
whereas if somebody else was to say, okay, well, Ashley, like, you're really negative right now, like, what's going on, la la la, I might actually get my back up and get that resistance and, like, retaliate. And with this community, it's like
you vent.
you take a second, because not only do they tell you what's going on, but they give you the reasons, like, why you need to, like, reset your mindset, right?
They
Like,
help you out of it. They help you
yeah,
out of it.
absolutely. And I have a couple girlfriends even that are on our team that have gone through some really shitty personal things lately. And, they'll reach out to me and I'll just tell them what it is. And I'll even say to them sometimes, like, you need to get out of that house, or you need to go for a walk. You need to have a bath. You need to fill your cup first. Like, whatever it is, you need to worry about you, because you can't help anybody else.
Yep.
Especially if you have kids. You can't help your kids if you don't set yourself, because the first thing you're going to do to your kids is that the second that they do something you don't like, or they make that noise that's like nails on a chalkboard, you're going to lash out at them. Whether you mean to or not, it's just a reactive state. And when you're in that negative mindset, you're reactive.
Yep.
Which is another reason why we say, like, don't touch your phone for like the first hour you're awake, because you'll be in a reactive state all day long.
Yeah.
So just ignore it. Don't even touch it. And like, sometimes I won't turn my Wi-Fi on until noon.
Yep.
I'm like, no, I got other things I can do. And if I touch my phone and I look at that negative comment that someone left on my page, or, drama in the world of Facebook, no, I just can't do it.
Well, and I think that's the other thing that we can touch on. As far as this business that we're part of, the skill that we use in controlling our mindset is huge as well. And I like, you hear about it all the time. The importance of being in the right mindset, blah, 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 blah. I won't repeat it because I was truly that person at the very beginning as well. That was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I actively focused on that, my business took off. When I stopped doing that and I started stressing on the other things, it went down. And then, and vice versa. And it was very evident that when I was on point with my mindset, my business was doing well. When I was not, then it wasn't. And you learn the skill set in this community and in this business on how to control that, how to make sure you have the technique at your fingertips to be able to take charge of that and be in control of putting yourself in the right place. And that's actually one of the reasons I get up at 4:00 in the morning, which, like, even 6 months ago, I would have turned and said that you're nuts. I'm not getting up when it's dark out. Like, I'm a night person, right? Whereas if you tell yourself what you are, you're always going to be that person. But I'm like, we all have the same amount of hours in the day, whether I like get up a little bit earlier and go to bed earlier or stay up later, whatever it might be. I'm still going to have the same number of hours in the day that I actively work on something. But to start my day off right and start my day off with what makes me passionate and what lights my fire and gets me excited and gets me in the right mindset, it literally has transformed my entire life since I started it. And it's only been, and I've been calculating the days, it's only been 23 days. 23 days since I started this process of getting up earlier, and my physical self and my mental self, my perspective at work, my perspective towards my business, everything has shifted into a positive realm. So I suggest it for everybody, even those who think that they are not capable of being a morning person. You are. Everybody's capable of doing this. It's a choice. And until you experience what I'm talking about, like, I didn't even expect to get the response that I did by making that one little shift, right?
Yeah.
I noticed a difference between my physical self, like my physiological self was benefiting from the fact that my mindset was in the right place. Like, it was crazy. There was a mind-body connection going on. So like, I will never change that. I love getting up in the morning early. I love having my time to myself with my coffee to get myself grounded and get myself in the right place, and then to start my day. I'll never change that, ever.
No.
Yeah.
No, and that's awesome. Like, I've definitely fallen off the wayside with that a little bit. And I think it was mostly just because I had so much time off this month. Like, I wasn't in a regular schedule. So I was staying up late and I was sleeping in. And a part of me was like almost mad at myself for doing that. And the other part of me was like, you know what? Maybe you just needed that. Maybe this was your reset. You needed a little bit of time to figure stuff out. You got a lot of big things going on. You know, it's not that I'm not working, because I'm definitely fucking working. But I've shifted my goals, I guess. Like, and that's okay. Like, that's the thing that I was trying to say the other day on my Go Live, was that my journey is my journey. I don't have to compare it to your journey or her journey or whoever's journey. And the path will change.
And nor should you compare to anybody's journey. And this is one of the things that I read just in the book the other day that stuck with me so well. And this is where you hear things over and over again, but there's just that one thing, you hear it for one time, one moment, that really sticks with you. And it was just basically straightforward, the fact that we always go through life trying to live up to someone else's standard, when in reality, we were all made differently for a reason. None of us are the same. None of us have the same standards, yet we try to compare ourselves to someone else and meet their standard, always falling short and coming in second best and feeling like crap every single time, when we can't compare ourselves to someone else, because we're all different.
We're all different. Yeah. We're all extraordinary human beings capable of the same thing, but the route to which we get to that point is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Absolutely.
And I actually did say today, like, I actually wrote this in my journal today, that I felt that there was a part of me that needed to refocus just a little bit more, just because there's so much that's going on. And because, you know, we do have the same amount of time in every day, but because I'm sleeping in, they're a little shorter. So, you know, I'm like, okay, well, I know what it is I want to accomplish in a day every day. I know what those things are. And I know that I need a little bit more time to do them. So in my journal today, I wrote down, you know, I need to start going to bed a little earlier, and I need to start waking up a little earlier. And that's okay. That's fine. I just actually have to physically say it out loud to someone so that I do it. Because if I just keep thinking about it in my subconscious, guess what? It's just going to play in there.
No accountability. No accountability.
My consciousness is going to be going, you need to do this. And the universe is going like, all these things are waiting for you, and the subconscious just sleep in.
Yeah. This feels good. This feels really good.
Feel good. Just stay here.
Well, I mean, and it's so funny because you say all these things, and even on, like, I was doing like my 30-day challenge. Okay. So like my morning manifestation challenge, to show my journey through this process of making the transformation from getting up earlier. And one of the things that I touched on was that not every day is going to be exactly laid out as you want to. Life happens, shit happens, but as long as you make it a priority to do what you need to get done, it's okay. And as long as you don't let it completely derail you, that's okay. Like you said, you very likely just needed the time to rejuvenate and to sleep in and take care of yourself. That's okay.
I've taken on a lot this year so far. Like, I've gone to a couple events, and I've done this and the other thing, and I'm starting this whole new branch of my business, and you know, crazy things are happening, right? So no, it's crazy. So we're where are we at? 8:47. So since we have a little bit of time left and we're diving into that portion of things, our big announcement, which, okay, so Jenna and I have been working on this. We've been meaning to like get things rolling. We've been talking about it for a while because we have such a great connection and we're both good at different aspects of things. And because we both have success in our business in different ways, we decided, drum roll please, we're launching a course. So our course, we basically just come out with the outline. We know exactly what it is we want to do. It's going to be an 8-week paid course. we are offering this exclusively to people who will be joining our Facebook group. Now, the Facebook group will come up at some point, and I will make sure that I tell all of you what the Facebook group is called, and I will share the link, and I will tell all of you how to get there. Now, the course that we're doing is called Beautifully Basic. And the reason we're calling it that is because it's going to give you a general idea of how to get started in an online business. That means everything from what the flying fuck's a funnel, because let's face it, when me and Jenna got started, we were like, huh? What's a sales funnel? I don't know.
Well, and the funny part about that story is when I was going through the process, I told you this the other day, and I was talking to someone, I'm going through the steps. I wasn't part of the business yet. And I'm going through one step, going through, and I keep hearing the sales funnel coming up, and I'm like, I'm curious to see what this is, right? And I finally get to the end point where I'm starting the business, whatever. And I turn to my mentor, the woman that brought me in, and I'm like, I just went through the sales funnel, didn't I? And she's like, I was like, oh, I get it. I get it now. I get it. So dumb.
So this course is amazing, and we are tailoring it to women who are looking to either level up in their business or start their business from scratch. So basically, you're going to learn everything from what's a funnel, how to start your professional business page. This is not a personal group or a personal page. It is officially a business page where you can actually track the amount of money that you invest in your business, and so on and so forth. And obviously, we will get further into that into the course. You will also learn how to produce really great, engaging content. You will learn how to track that content. You will learn how to copyright properly and things that you are allowed to say on Facebook and things you aren't allowed to say on Facebook, things that Facebook will shut you down for. These are all really important things. And a lot of people don't even know that these things exist in Facebook. I know I was like, why do I keep seeing all these ads? And then I was like, oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. And editing too, guys. We're going to throw in editing content. So how to edit your videos, how to edit your pictures so that they're captivating, grab people's attention. Because, I've never actually thought about the title Facebook until they pointed out. It's Facebook. The thing that people see the most are the images that they're scrolling through on the page. It's not the words, it's the images and the content. So we are going to teach you how to make that visually appealing so that as opposed to someone just scrolling through the news feed, they're going to see what you have on there and they're going to go, what's that? And then I want to learn more. And then it's going to drive them into it, right? So all of this is in there.
Yeah, we will also be touching a little bit on Instagram and how you can leverage Instagram for your business as well, because Instagram is like huge right now, and it is a beautiful, beautiful place for organic marketing, but you can leverage paid marketing on Instagram as well. And I believe, I can't remember what the precise statistics are, but it is a crazy amount of people that buy shit on Instagram. Like, it's crazy. It's way more than Facebook. It's insane. So we will definitely be touching base on that as well. But our main focus will be Facebook, as it is a platform that we use the most, because it has beautiful options.
Organic reach as well. Yeah. So we're going to touch on everything. So basically whatever your desire is, we'll teach you and educate you on how you can get your business up and running and be lucrative using the skill set that we have. And I think we stand by the motto of learn, do, teach, right? So we have learned this incredible skill set that is at our fingertips. We've done it and successfully duplicated it and made it and been successful in our own businesses. And it is our due diligence now to share this with as many people as we possibly can, because I truly feel that everybody needs to know about this opportunity, and everybody needs to know how to leverage the internet properly, because of the unfortunate reality that technology is taking over our jobs. So if you're not at least skilled in some way, shape, or form in using the internet to leverage something, you are falling behind. And and this is what this course is all about, is to give you everything that you could possibly need to get started in running your own business. So
absolutely. And we want to teach you the efficient, effective way of doing it. No more cold calling, messaging people a day. Like that shit is like, no fucking thank you.
Yeah.
Don't deal with that anymore. Ever again. Like I tried that. It sucked. It became a chore. It wasn't fun anymore. I started to lose interest in my job. Even though I was so passionate about what I was doing, it fizzled out. I got burnt out. I was tired. I felt like I was on my phone more than I was with my kids. Whereas what we've learned in the process that we've learned, 90% of the work is done for you. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yes. You will be able to understand it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we've said, the course is called Beautifully Basic. So we will only be teaching you, a general idea of how to get started and how to dive in. Later on, we will get more in depth with some of our more advanced courses. For right now, we're starting with Beautifully Basic. Like leading up to that, anyone who is joining in our group, there will be a few weeks of free content for you to sort of get a taste of what you will have hands-on experience with in Beautifully Basic. Now, Beautifully Basic, as I said, is going to be exclusive for anyone who is within our group. So as I said, once the group is posted and built and we've got that started, I will let all of you know exactly how to get there, and we will be promoting that extensively to get you in there to get started. And we can't frickin' wait. I'm so excited.
This is something that we have been talking about for a very long time. And as soon as we sat down for the last 2 days, very thorough days, and hammered out the outline, and just putting that down on paper has gotten me so excited about.
I'm so fired up. I am eat, living, breathing, sleeping this course.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be huge because honestly, I've seen a lot of the free courses that are out there, right? Well, not free courses. I've seen a lot of the courses that are out there right now. They are solely based around mindset, spirituality, a little bit of business, organic reach, Instagram training, Instagram stories, that sort of stuff. I see lots and lots of courses on that. However, they never talk about your back office. They never talk about your proper numbers that you need to understand in order to know that your ad is actually running the way it's supposed to and you're not wasting your money, which I want you to do. So we're going to teach you how to do it properly because there are statistics in your back office that you need to be paying attention to. Sure, you could probably YouTube it and find the answer, but you're going to have to look for it. And will you actually even understand it?
It took us a while to understand, guys. And this is this is what we're doing. We're literally going through our journey of starting this process. We even had the training and all that stuff at our fingertips, but it still took us a while of process and clarifying everything. So we're going
I even invested almost $1,000 in another course so that I can learn about the back office even more.
Well, so that's it.
Everything that I've learned, I'm sharing with you because there are things in your back office, like your business manager, that I had no idea, didn't have a clue.
We're essentially specifically taking the gray areas that we were confused about and making them clear as day. We're taking all the stuff that didn't make sense to us or that we felt was not touched on enough or just not clear enough. And we're making that in the forefront so that is so easily understood that you can go off and do it on your own later. And it even is going to have a full PDF handout with everything organized. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And it's going to be everything that you can possibly need to get your business up and running. 100%. Yeah.
You will have the Beautifully Basic Bible. It will be in your hands. So just to give you kind of a quick outline of what we will be doing. So the beginning of the week, so at the top of the week, there will be a live in the group with me and Jenna. We will explain to you what the course entails, what you will be doing that week, your homework for that week, etc. And then you will receive an email with another video. This video will present your homework for the week and a little bit more in-depth explanation onto how to do it. So not only will you get a live broadcast with us, you will then get another video sequence, which basically regurgitates exactly what we told you in the Go Live. So you have 2 sets of listening to go through, which is fantastic. You will also get the PDF version for that week so that you don't have to go back to the video to listen if there's something you're confused about. You will have the PDF to go back and reference to if you need a specific answer, okay? Because we don't want you wasting our time or wasting your time. We have experienced enough of that, trust me.
Well, and there's one thing that's really super cool. It's something that it kind of popped into it was actually that came up with this idea, but one of the weeks after you've learned everything, we've literally dedicated one full week to one-on-one calls with each and every person that registers. So after we've taught everything has been applied, we're going to have a specific one-on-one call with each person to answer your questions, go through your business, help you, literally specifically help you with whatever it is that you need help with. So that's the entire week that we've dedicated to that as well. So like, it's very, very
tailored,
very personal. We want to make it very personal so that it can fit to exactly what you're looking for at the end of the day, right? Because we know what it's like to be confused on things, and then we also know what it's like to not necessarily want to speak up in a group and have that question out there. I mean, that took time to learn that comfort, and if you're not comfortable with that, like, we wanted to cater to that too. So like, everything that you need is going to be in this course, 100%.
Yeah. Everything you need to get started and have a successful, thriving business, whether it's a product and or service that you're selling. We will be able to help you reach those goals by starting with the basics. And I think that it's really awesome because you will no longer be throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what's, you are going to directly hone in on your target, on your niche. Like, you will know exactly what kind of woman or person you are trying to target. You will completely have an understanding of that aspect of things, which is huge, because if you don't know who you're targeting, you're not going to sell anything. And if you don't really believe in what you're selling, you're not going to sell anything. And if you don't understand how to invest your money properly, you're just going to be wasting your money, which is no fun. So
and if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to do very well either. And I think one key thing that Ashley just said that is important to reiterate is that this is not just for affiliate marketing or online businesses of any sort. This is for any kind of small business. My husband uses the same techniques to drive his massage therapy business. So you can be any kind of business owner, and this course will be specific to that. So it doesn't matter what area you're in, doesn't matter what your focus is. These techniques and these skills will be applicable to whatever it is that you are running. And I think that's important to clarify there. So
very important. So like we were saying, this is going to cover a lot of information. This is not a sit on the sidelines and see what's going to happen kind of course. You are going to need to engage. You are going to need to invest. But what you're going to see on the end of it is going to blow your freaking mind. So I can't wait to get this launched. I can't wait to get the group started and get all of you in there. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to message me or Jenna on our Facebook pages. We will absolutely answer any of your questions. And expect that course rolling out probably in the next, I'm going to say, month or so. I'm excited. I'm just super excited to see all of our hard work pay off, right? Like, everything we've learned over the last year, half year, whichever, I'm so excited to really take everything I learned and put it to the test.
And over and above that too, for myself personally, and I'm sure it's for you and a number of other people that are in our business, it genuinely, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, means so much to us to see other people succeed.
Oh my God.
To be able to teach what we have and to see other people thrive because of what we have given them and made accessible to them. It sounds so cheap. It's like a Hallmark card, but
I know,
your
right?
success means more to me than mine does. Like, it literally feels better when someone else is like they're taken off and they're soaring because of something that we provided. So that is where our hearts come from. It comes from teaching other people and seeing them succeed, and that is what our focus is, and that's what our goal is, so that you know that everything that we do, our focus is going to be to help you get to where you want to be. So
Absolutely.
it's just, it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
It's amazing. So you guys, you've got an 8-week course that's going to be coming at you sometime in the next little while. So stay tuned for all the details. Thank you everyone for tuning on tonight. I know it's Saturday, so I wasn't expecting a lot of people to be on anyways. But if you catch the replay, please let me know. Please comment, and I will make sure to answer you as soon as I can. Love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Mwah. Good night.
Bye, everybody.